Many people's favorite pieces of equipment in Skyrim are the Daedric artifacts, the items given to you by the Lords of Oblivion for doing some of the best quests in the game. But just how do they stack up? And to be clear, we're talking about the base game here, warts and all. Well, at number 20 we have... Wait, what? No, this is an Daedric artifact, right? Well, and this is mainly just in here for a little tidbit, but the game actually counts this towards the Oblivion Walker achievement. So according to the game, this is a Daedric artifact, even though it isn't. Not everything on this list does actually count towards the achievement, but if it's a Daedric quest reward, it's getting ranked. Anyway, let's actually get started with the list. Number 19 is the Rueful Axe. I actually love the idea behind this weapon. It's a bad trade from the god infamous for screwing people over with his deals. But that doesn't save it from being not just the worst Daedric artifact, but one of the worst weapons in the entire game, as it is the slowest weapon in the entire game. It does look very cool though. Number 18 is Azura's Star, just a worse version of another artifact. You do land a follower going down this road though, so that's something, I guess. Number 17 is the Ring of Hircine. Look, I get it, unlimited werewolf transformations is cool, but you can also just wait 24 hours. It's neat, but ultimately a waste of a ring slot. Number 16, Volendrung. I don't know, I just don't vibe with this one. It actually has one of the highest base DPS values in the game, but that enchantment is just so... It's fine, I guess, but the one in Oblivion had paralysis, which is just so much cooler. But if you disagree with the placement on this one, you're probably right. I've just never liked it. Number 15, Savior's Hide. Savior's Hide is so almost good. Magic resistance is a fantastic enchantment, but poison resistance is almost completely negligible unless you're on legendary or something. And even if you are, you're probably wearing something a lot more protective than the Savior's Hide. Great for fashion though. Number 14, the Ebony Blade, and here is my penance for Volendrung. I love this weapon, but it has such a gaping flaw that I can't put it any higher. Without mods, you cannot improve this weapon through smithing. Aside from that, it's great, but it's not something that can be overlooked. Number 13 is the Skull of Corruption. It's a good staff with extra steps. That's about it. Number 12, the Mask of Clavicus Vile, and this is where we start getting good. This is just more money. It's pretty hard to say no to that. Number 11 is the Skeleton Key. This is a weird one to place because it is both fantastic and useless depending on what you do. If you finish the Thieves Guild quest, you lose the item, so it's useless. But if you keep it, you never have to worry about lockpicks again. But also if you have that one perk that makes lockpicks never break, then it's also useless, so that's why I just chucked it in the middle. Number 10, the Ogma Infinium. A similar situation to the last one, a bunch of levels is great, but after one use, that's it. At least that's how it's intended to be used, if you know what I'm saying. Number 9, the Mace of Molag Bal. Looks cool, decent damage, mid-enchantments, soul trap. Is a very okay weapon. Number 8, the Ebony Mail. Now this one is interesting. The Ebony Mail is the lightest heavy armor and has the best protection to weight ratio in the game. It is clearly intended to be used on stealth characters, and heavy armor, whilst not often used for that role, does fit Boethia more. The problem with the stealth aspect though is that the poison it emits when sneaking alerts the enemies it hits, making it not actually all that useful at stealth. But despite all that, it is a great armor choice for warrior builds with its excellent defense and damage over time ability. Number 7 is the Ring of Namira. This ring gives you more health and health regen. That's, decent. But the reason it's so high is because the act of feeding on corpses is a unique act that this ring lets you perform, which is not only very cool, but also invaluable for anyone with a Green Pact character, and unique is a trait I value quite highly, as you'll see. Number 6 is Sanguine's Rose. If you're not playing a build that levels Conjuration, but want more or less the best summon in the game, then look no further. The summons scale to your level all the way up to 46. The only bad thing about the staff is how little charge it has. Number 5, Dawnbreaker. This sword is to the undead what the Rise of Skywalker is to cinema. It just shits all over them. It comes with a unique explosion, except for Bane of the Undead, but that's a master level restoration spell, so who cares? An incredibly cool design, and a quest that actually has completely unique enemies, and also the highest enchantment charged in the game. 10 points of fire damage kinda sucks though. Number 4, the Black Star. An infinitely reusable soul gem that can house black souls. Potentially the most universally useful item on the list. Unless you're not enchanting, which is not going to be most people. A very solid reward that does something incredibly useful that nothing else can do. Zero complaints. Number 3, Spellbreaker. This shield is to mages what Madame Web is to cinema. It just shits all over them, and basically makes Dragon Breath attacks useless. It can also be buffed by anything that buffs wards, giving it the potential to negate certain spells entirely with magic absorption. My only issue with this shield is why the hell is it associated with Periite? It was made by dwarves to fight Shalador. He has nothing to do with it. Number 2 is Mehrunes Razor. Put a light dagger in your left hand when dual wielding and insta-kill anything that's not immune to it, which is a grand total of 2 enemies, Mirak and Karstag. Number 1, the Wabbajack. Of course it is. What else did you expect? Do I even need to explain why this is number 1? You know what? Fuck you. I'm not explaining. The video's over.